this over here real quick with Allah Izar, Yad Yah, and Zayanya, and Parazah with Mashara Yasha'Allah in Ohio, the government of Yasha'Allah in Ohio. Doing a quick little understanding about the wilderness. What's it going to be like in the wilderness? Are we going to be hungry? We're going to be thirsty? Are we going to be starving? Are we going to be complaining about the amount of food that we have? Okay, what is it going to be like in the wilderness? So we're going to start in Ezekiel chapter 20. I always make that mistake. Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33. Go ahead.
As I live, saith Yahweh Elohim.
So Yahweh said, just as sure as you know that he lives, which that's Adanya Yahweh.
That's right.
So as I live, says Adanya Yahweh. So just as sure as you know that he lives, go ahead.
Surely with a mighty hand.
Surely with a mighty hand, meaning I'm going to show my power. Go ahead.
And with a stretched out arm.
Meaning I'm going to show my power and bring some force upon the situation. Go ahead.
And with fury poured out.
Meaning I'm going to bring my judgment. I'm going to bring anger upon this situation. Go ahead.
Will I rule over you?
I'm going to rule over the people of Yasha'Allah. Go ahead.
And I will bring you out from the people.
He's going to bring us out from, read that again.
And I will bring you out from the people.
I will bring you out from the people. So he's going to bring us from the places of the other people where we have been scattered. Go ahead.
And will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered.
So every place where we've been scattered upon the planet Earth, including America. A lot of people thinking that if you're in America, you're not going to be delivered when the Most High gathers Israel. But this says that we're going to be delivered from where? From every place where we have been scattered. And we know that America is one of the places where we've been scattered at, right?
Go.
All right, go ahead.
With a mighty hand.
Meaning he's going to show his power. Go ahead.
And with a stretched out arm.
With the stretched out arm, meaning power and force and fury. Go ahead.
And with fury poured out.
Uh-huh.
And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people.
So he says that he's going to bring us into the wilderness of the people. So we're going to go into the wilderness again, a second time. So now once we get into the wilderness, what's it going to be like? Are we going to have to worry about food? Are we going to be thirsty? Are we going to be hunting for water? Is the leader among us going to have to, which is going to be King David, is he going to have to make water come out of rocks again? Okay, we're going to be eating quails and complaining or whatever. We hungry, we thirsty. We wish we was back in the land of Israel. We was back in America. Where we go to McDonald's and Burger King and a Chinese place and get some subs. You know what I'm saying? And get some Philly cheese steaks and some French fries and onion rings. Get some shish kebabs and some gyros from the Arabs. Get a 40 ounce. And we can get some Mad Dog and some Hennessy. All right? And we get some Moscata and we get some Asti Spumante. Are you going to be complaining like that? Are we going to be lacking what we have? See, the Most High is merciful and gracious. First time he did that to us. But this time, the Most High is going to flip the script around. He's going to do it differently. When we get into the wilderness this time, your icon, it's going to be different than the first time. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 35. This shows us a picture of what it's going to be like when we get into the wilderness this time around once we leave from America. Okay? Isaiah chapter 35. Alright, 35, start from verse 1.
The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them.
So the Bible says that the wilderness and the place that's solitary is going to be glad that we're there. So we're talking about the wilderness, right? So the scripture says that the wilderness is going to be glad. You got that? All right, read.
And the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose.
So the desert is going to rejoice once we get there. So we know that the place where we're going to be going is right now a a desertous type of place. Okay, now you look this. It says Madbar, so it's the wilderness. So we're gonna go. We look in Isaiah chapter 35 in the Hebrew again. The word that they use there is Madbar. The word that they use there is Madbar, which means the wilderness. That's actually the name for the book of Numbers by Madbar. Okay, because it starts off in the wilderness. That's what Madbar means, is wilderness. Okay. Yahweh spake unto Masha in the wilderness of Sinai. So Scripture says that the desert is gonna rejoice and do what? Rejoice and do what?
And blossom as the rose.
It's gonna blossom like a rose. So the desert is gonna start to bring forth roses once we get into the wilderness. You understand that? Keep reading.
Verse 2. It shall blossom abundantly.
It's going to start growing all types of stuff in the wilderness this second time around once we get into the wilderness. Everything's going to start to grow abundantly. Read.
And rejoice even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it.
Lebanon has very fertile soil. So all that fertility of the soil that's in Lebanon is going to be given to the desert once we get back into the wilderness. Once we get into the desert. Read.
The excellency of Carmel and Sharon.
Mount Carmel and Mount Sharon are known as very fertile areas. Okay, Sharon is Sharwan, which means a level field, which is fertile. And Carmel, of course, is a mountain. Okay, go ahead.
They shall see the glory of Yahweh.
So Yahweh's going to put his glory on the wilderness and on the desert once we get there. Okay, read.
And the excellency of Allahayika. Allahayinawa, Salaki. Verse 3. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, Yahweh will come with vengeance, even Allahayim with recompense. He will come and save you.
Scripture says that he is going to come and save us. So Scripture says don't even trip. Don't even be afraid. Don't even worry about it. Read.
Then the eyes of
those that are afraid say, yo, don't even worry about it. Be strong. Fear not. The Most High is going to deliver us. So a lot of brothers, he's going to save us, it says. A lot of brothers trying to make you scared with FEMA, death camps. All right? They're going to be shooting you down on the street. So what? The Scripture is saying don't even worry. The Most High is going to save us. All right, go ahead.
Verse 5. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened.
So blind people are going to be able to see again. Go ahead.
And the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped.
The people that are deaf are going to be able to hear all of a sudden again. The Most High is going to start to heal people that have ailments and afflictions. Read.
Then shall the lame man leap as in heart.
The man that was crippled, the man that couldn't walk, he's going to start, his legs going to be strong as a deer's legs. Okay, read.
And the tongue of the dumb sing.
The mouth of the person that could hardly talk, that could not talk, whose tongue was malformed or something, he's going to be singing. The Most High is going to put a whole, not only is he going to be able to talk, but he's going to be able to even sing with his mouth now. All right, go ahead. Now this is the part that we get into. What is it going to be like in the wilderness for the environment of the wilderness? Okay, read.
For in the wilderness shall waters break out.
So waters are going to break out in the wilderness. Water going to just start to spring forth. Read.
And streams in the desert.
Streams are going to start to flow in the desert, in the wilderness, once we get there. You see, ain't going to be like the first time when we were in the wilderness and people saying, yo, we want water, we thirsty, you brought us out here to die. Go ahead.
And the parched ground shall become a pool.
The parched ground is going to be as a pool. So all that dryness that's in the desert, in the wilderness, it's going to start to bring forth life. It's going to start to bring forth water. It's going to start to grow. Go ahead.
And the thirsty land springs of water.
The thirsty land ain't got no water in it. It's going to start to become springs just flowing everywhere. Read.
In the habitation of dragons, where each lake shall be grass in reeds and rushes.
So like when you read about the certain animals like to lay their eggs in dry, arid places, even digging underground. Okay, like let's say a type of a dragon is like an iguana. It likes to dig burrows and it puts its eggs in these burrows. But the scripture is saying that there's going to be grass there, reeds and rushes, marshy water. You know, once you do that, the whole ecosystem starts to change. Bugs, okay, that help with the ecosystem. Birds that that are aquatic birds, different types of fish. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 8, and a highway shall be there.
There's going to be a highway, a wide way, a highway for the children of Yasha'Allah to be traveling through. Go ahead.
And a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness.
Okay, it's going to be called the way of holiness. Go verse 9.
No lion.
No what?
Lion shall be there.
There won't be any lions in that way. No dangerous beasts we're going to have to worry about. Go ahead.
Nor any ravenous beast shall go up thereon. It shall not be found there. But the redeemed.
The what?
But the redeemed.
So we're going to be redeemed and we're going to do what?
Shall walk there.
We're going to walk on that way up to Yerushalayim. Read.
And the ransom.
The ransom, meaning the Most High paid the price for us. He ransomed us. Go ahead.
Of Yahweh shall return. And
Okay.
come from Zion with
So
songs.
we're going to come what? To Zion with song. So the scripture saying that when we see, and this is a problem too. Brothers trying to go to Zion right now, but they're not trying to go through the wilderness. And am I lying? We just read all this about the wilderness, right? And now the scripture saying, you woke up, huh? You like triple tasking, but you listening though. The scripture say that we're going to go through all this stuff, and then it say the ransomed of Yahweh going to go to Zion. It says a highway is going to be. They don't say Air Israel or U.S. Air. It says the ransom of Yahweh shall return. Then it says, and come to Zion with songs, and what? Check this one out, Al-Izar, and what?
And everlasting joy upon their heads.
Now when they go to Israel and they come back to America, are they still joyous? When they go to Mount Zion, do they got everlasting joy? You feel me? The scripture says when we go back to Zion, we're going to come back with everlasting joy. Okay? We're going to have everlasting. It don't say we're going to go back to the land of our captivity. Zion represents the monument. Zion is a monument to Zion in the Hebrew. It means a monument. Monument of the Most High strength, of His power, of His redemption, His salvation, and the might of King David. It don't say you're going to go there to Zion and you're going to take a plane back to America, back to captivity to work for the white man again. Or you're going to go to UN and get them to make you a special ID, print up some IDs with a digital printer you got and make up some papers and have people sign them or whatever. He said, once we gone from out of here, man, we gone. Okay, read.
They shall obtain joy.
Once we go back to Zion as a nation, we're going to obtain joy and what?
And gladness.
We're going to be glad. Read.
And sorrow and sighing shall flee away.
Ain't going to be no more Zion, no more sighing and no more sorrow once we get back into Zion. So, but before we get to Zion, we got to go in through the wilderness. And this time, the wilderness experience is going to be pleasant. Stuff's going to be growing. Water's going to be there. Ain't going to be no dangerous animals there. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't going to be the same as the first time around. Now let's go into the book of Ezekiel chapter 37. Ezekiel 37:25. Cant.
And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Yaakov.
So we're going to dwell in the land that the Most High have given us. Go ahead.
Wherein your forefathers, your fathers have dwelt.
We're going to go back to the land where our fathers used to live at. Go ahead.
And they shall dwell therein, even they, and their children, and their children's children forever.
Our generation, once we get back into Israel, we're going to dwell there forever. But first we got to do what? Go through the wilderness. You can't skip the wilderness and say, oh, I'm going to go back now.
So when we get, after we leave the wilderness, so when the thousand years come after that, right?
Yeah, that comes after that.
So what we just going to, Christ is going to be here for 1,000 years, he's going to jet out?
No, he's going to be there, but after the 1,000, Yahushua is not going to come to the earth until we get back into Israel. When you read Ezekiel chapter 37, 38, and 39. Once we get back into Israel, then that's when he's going to make his appearance to defend us from all the nations. Going to have Jerusalem surrounded. When you read in Ezekiel chapter 30, in Ezekiel chapter 38, they talk about how we're going to be surrounded by the different armies, and the Most High is gonna deliver us. Actually, you're going to Ezekiel chapter 37, chapter 38. So we can already be over there. But see, everybody want to jump to Israel, but they don't want to go through the wilderness that the Most High said we got to go through first. When He brings us from the land, He didn't say you got to save money and buy an airline ticket. He said He's gonna bring you into that land once He brings you through the wilderness first. All right, go ahead, keep reading. Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 25. And they shall dwell therein.
And they shall dwell therein. Even they and their children, and their children's children forever.
So we're going to dwell in the land of Yasha Allah forever once we get back over there. Period. We're going to dwell there forever. Okay, read.
And my servant Dawad.
My servant who?
Dawad.
My servant who?
Dawad.
Moses.
Dawad.
Yahushua.
Dawad.
Peter.
Dawad.
Matthew.
Dawad.
It says David. Dawad is going to be what?
Shall be their prince forever.
He's going to be our ruler forever. Dawad is going to be our ruler forever over the nation of Yasha Allah. And Hamashiach is going to be the ruler over everybody forever. Okay? Let's go into Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 24. Now we just read that the wilderness was talked about as the desert and the wilderness. So is Yahweh going to be with us in the wilderness? What did he say about being in the desert? He said, they tell you I'm in the desert, believe it not. All right, so Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 24. Read that.
And I, Yahweh, will be their Allahayim.
So the Most High, let's read from 22.
Therefore.
Ezekiel 34, 22, read.
Therefore, will I save my flock.
The Most High is going to save His flock. Read. Which flock is that? The flock that dwells in the land of Egypt. The flock of Yasha Allah. That's in the captivity, scattered throughout the world. Read. And
there shall no more be a prey.
So the other nations not going to exalt themselves above us. They're not going to be trying to murder us no more. They're not going to be able to touch us. Remember, Scripture said we're going to be the tail, but now we're going to start to become the head again. We're going to be put back in charge. Scripture says the stranger that's within you should get up above you very high. So now when the stranger gets above us very high, the Scripture says that we're going to rule over the strangers now. We're going to go back into our rightful position. Okay? Go ahead.
And I will judge between cattle and cattle.
Meaning He's going to judge between all the different animals. Go ahead.
And I will set up one shepherd over them.
So He's going to do a judge between all of the different animals. The animals represent Israel. So He's going to take inventory of everybody and see what everybody needs to become more perfect, to become more obedient. And David is going to be one that's overseeing that. David is going to be our shepherd in the wilderness. Read.
And He shall feed them.
So David is going to feed us in the wilderness. It ain't say some guy's going to go to Israel, to Mount Zion, and He's going to feed you. The Scripture says David is going to feed us in the wilderness first. Read.
Even my servant Dawad, he shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd.
David is going to be the one that leads the way out of Babylon, out of Egypt, out of captivity, and into the wilderness. How do we know that? Let's continue to read. Read.
And I, Yahweh, will be their Allahayim.
I will be their Allahayim. The Most High is going to be our power for the whole nation of Yasha Allah. You understand? I read.
And my servant Dawad.
My servant Dawad, a what?
A prince.
A ruler among the children of Yasha'Allah. Read.
Among them.
I,
Yahweh, have spoken.
So you can't try to get around this. The Most High said that David is going to be our prince and our leader. He's going to be our shepherd, and he's going to be the one that's going to judge among us to let us know what is right and what is wrong. All of the disputes, all the doctrine disputes, all the misunderstanding is going to be cleared up when David makes his appearance on the scene. Read.
Now, verse 25. And I will make with them a covenant of peace.
Read.
And will cause the evil beast to cease out of the land.
Go ahead.
And they shall dwell
They shall
safely.
what?
Shall dwell safely.
They shall dwell safely with King David as our shepherd. Where?
In the wilderness.
David is going to be where?
In the wilderness.
Our shepherd is going to be where?
In the wilderness.
Our leader, David, is going to be with us where?
In the wilderness.
So David is going to be with us in the wilderness. So how are you going to skip King David's? You're going to skip King David's part. You're going to skip King David being over us, getting us in order in the wilderness, and you're going to have pride, misunderstanding biblical prophecy, biblical timelines, biblical chronologies, and you're going to try to exalt yourself and put yourself back in Israel, back in Mount Zion. You're going to just skip through David. You're going to skip through the wilderness. You're going to skip through going to the wilderness with David as our leader, and you're going to say, well, let's go directly to Zion because I think it's time to go back to Zion. So the scripture says that David is going to be with us, and we're going to dwell safely where?
In the wilderness.
And we're going to what?
And sleep in the woods.
So they don't want to sleep in the woods. They don't want to go and sleep in the woods. Okay? So that's how it's going to happen. That's what the wilderness is going to be like. David's going to be there. It's going to be a beautiful time. He's going to be nourishing us, giving us direction, giving us understanding. Okay? We're going to ask him questions. He's going to answer. We're going to have the judges and the officers set up. We have captain of 1,000, right? 100, 50, and 10 rulers. That's going to rule over the children of Yasha'Allah. That's why it behooves us now to know these laws, commandments, and statutes. Because once we get into the wilderness, the whole system is going to be set up again. That's why the scripture says, the Most High say he's going to raise up the tabernacle of David as in the days of old. And we restore the breaches thereof. So the whole house of David is going to be brought back together. Now David, throughout the tribes of Yasha'Allah, we have judges, officers, and leaders. You know what I'm saying? But once we get into the wilderness, it ain't going to be us looking for food, us wanting something to eat. Everything's going to start to grow again once we get into the wilderness. We're not going to have to worry about the things that we worried about the first time we went into the wilderness. Okay? And David, like I said, David or Dawad is going to be the Malak Ayel over the Banya Yasha'Allah, the children of Yasha'Allah. Okay, now, last scripture. Let's go into Hosea chapter 2, verse 14 and 15. It's the last scripture we're going to go into about this topic. Okay, so right now we're talking about David. We're also talking about once we leave America and the places where we were scattered, what is going to happen in the wilderness? What's it going to be like in the wilderness? And we see we're not going to be starving or thirsty or hungry there. Now, Hosea chapter 2, verses 14 and 15, going to give us a different understanding of what's going to be happening also. Read.
Therefore, behold, I will allure her.
So allure her, meaning the Most High He's going to make us want to leave this place. He's going to make us want to go into the wilderness. Allure her, meaning He's going to make it appealing to us. Read.
And bring her into the wilderness.
Bring us where?
Into the wilderness.
So how come the Most High keeps saying He's going to bring us into the wilderness, right? But everybody else want to jump right into Zion. Don't they understand we got to go to the wilderness first? Okay, read.
And speak comfortably unto her.
He speak comfortably, meaning He's going to correct us the way we need to be corrected. He's going to show us the things that we need to be shown. He's going to speak to the heart of our people. So once we go to Zion, the scripture says that He's going to wipe the sorrows away. They said we're going to be happy. We're not going to have no complaints, no more sorrow. So if you go into Zion, you don't feel that way, you're not going to Zion according to biblical prophecy. You're going to Zion according to you want to go to Zion right now. All right, so the scripture says there he's going to speak comfortably unto her. Her, of course, talking about the children of Yasha'Allah. So we're going to be married back, we're going to be connected and lorded over by the Most High. And he calls us a her. All right, read.
And I will give her vineyards from thence.
You see, so then we have vineyards from there. So but you got to have very good soil to grow vineyards. So we're going to have vineyards from the wilderness. Read.
In the valley of Achor, for a door of hope.
The valley of Achor, or Achor is going to be a door of hope. So that's showing you the way we're going to get from the wilderness back into the land of Yasha'Allah. We're going to come through the valley of Achor. Okay, go ahead.
And she shall sing there.
We're going to sing in the wilderness and in Achor. Go ahead.
As in the days of her youth.
Mm-hmm.
And as in the day when she came up out of the land of Montezari.
So when we came up out of the land of Montezari, we were singing when we crossed over the Red Sea. The Sea of Reeds, rather, the Reed Sea. We were singing. We're going to be singing and rejoicing the same way when we go back into the wilderness the second time. Read.
And it shall be at that day, save Yahweh, thou shalt call me Ishai.
We're going to call him Ishi, which means Ayash Yah, which means we're going to call the Most High my man. We're going to have a more intimate relationship with the Creator as opposed to what? Read.
And shall call me no more Baal.
Baali was Baali, which means Baaliyah, which means my owner, my possessor, my Lord. So the Most High is going to have a more intimate and a more loving relationship with us than he has now. You understand? So that's all we're going to really go into at this point on that particular topic. Just showing us what it's going to be like in the wilderness, that King David's going to be in the wilderness, and you can't jump the gun trying to go to Zion when you want to go to Zion, and you want to just skip the protocol the Father has set up. He said his mouth has spoken it, right? So now he said that David is going to show us and judge us and be with us and be our what? Shepherd in the wilderness. So if you raise up like, yo, Parazal, let's go in the wilderness, man. Let's put videos and let's make posts and let's get everybody to come back to Zion. The scripture said that David's going to be my shepherd and I got to go to the wilderness first. So what do you think me reading the scriptures is going to do? Follow you to Zion or wait on King David? I'm going to wait on King David. Because the scriptures say that David is going to lead us to the wilderness and to Zion. So anybody come now trying to say, well, let's go to Zion now, they're counterfeit, man. They're fraud. And they can take it how they want to take it. Because you can't show no scripture to dispute what we just went over. You can't show nothing to say you're going to skip the wilderness. Everybody know we're going to go into the wilderness. But you're trying to go now and camp out in Israel as a daggone vagabond and a refugee in your own land, ruled over by the Gentiles. Do not the scripture say Jerusalem shall be trampled down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled? Don't Yahweh shall say that in the book of Luke chapter 21 verse 24. So we're going there, you know what I'm saying, out of pocket. Out of the time that the Most High said we were supposed to go. You understand? So we can't do that, man. We got to wait on King David. We got to wait on him. Be patient. We got to wait for all of Yasha'Allah to get together and all 12 tribes are going to come out of the land of our captivity, especially from the land of the north, together. Okay? You got that from Jeremiah. You got that from, well, we already read it in the book of Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33, then we went down verse 33 and 34. Okay, you got that in Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 6, 7, and 8. Okay, you got it in Jeremiah chapter 3, I believe verse 17 and 18. Jeremiah chapter 3. Verse 17 and 18, okay? So you have it in all these different books of the Bible to show that we're going to come up out of this land, you know, together from the land of the north. Okay? So we can't jump the gun. and try to do it in our own time period. And you have it also in Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 8. All right, the same thing we read. What we read earlier? It says, "Behold, I will bring them from the north country and gather them from the coast of the earth." So this ain't talking about when we went back with Nehemiah and Ezra. He said he's going to gather us from the coast of the earth. We wasn't gathered from the coast of the earth. Okay, we was only gathered from Babylon. Then it says what? "And with them the blind and the lame and the woman with child and her that travaileth with child together. A great company shall return thither." Now don't the scripture say that the blind man is going to see and the lame man is going to walk? You see? So that's how we're going to get back into the wilderness, man. So anything other than that is not according to the scripture or the biblical protocol. And once we get there, it's going to be food, stuff growing, it's going to be water, it's going to be a beautiful experience. You know, no dangerous animals going to be there to bother us. So that's what the scripture said. All right, so you have to go by according to what the prophecy said. You can't just get all emotional and feel inspired because somebody spoke some good words to you and read a couple of verses. But see, they reading Zion, 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 go back, go back, go back. But they forgetting the protocol and the steps to get there. And who's going to deliver us from our own captivity? The Most High said He's going to bring us all together from the land where we were put into captivity, and He's going to put us back into the land of Yasharallah after we go through the wilderness. So once we go through the wilderness, we're going to be good. But if you go into Zion, the scripture already said that when you go through Zion, that it's going to be terrific. When you go through Zion, ain't going to be no more problems for nobody. Everything's going to be straight. The blind people are going to see. But first, you got to go through the wilderness first. That's where the miracles and the blessings are going to take place at, in the wilderness. Okay? Any questions? Questions? Questions over there? All right, so